Hello, my crafty friends. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Linda Edwards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator with Crafty Heron Designs. I'm going to show you how to make this fun fold card. It's a simple design that can be adapted in a lot of ways, but what I really wanted to do was to showcase this new paper that Stampin' Up! Has come up with. As you can see, it's got a white core at it, and there's some fun things that you can do to highlight that paper. Not only does it have a white core, but it also has two different colors on each side. It's got a different color on each side. So let's get started. We're gonna use the Leaf Fall 3D embossing folder. We're also gonna use the Sophisticated Sled stamp set. So I don't have a lot of fall stamp sets dedicated to fall, but this one is really versatile because you can use, as I'm using the wreath here, and by just changing up the colors of the wreath and your paper colors, you can make it spring or winter or summer. So I'm gonna make this, or I have made this, a fall card since we are in the fall season. And let me show you this paper. It's really cool. It's a new product that Stampin' Up! Has come out with. This is the color that I'm using, and can you see there's two different colors. So this is Cajun Craze is the primary color, and then it's just a little bit lighter on the other side. So that's fun. You can do some interesting things with it. The other pieces that come in this set, here, let me see here, it's in the Autumn to Remember two-tone cardstock, and there are several different shades that you can get. This was the Autumn. So the Cajun Craze, Early Espresso, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Pecan Pie, and Petal Pink. Great autumn colors, don't you think? Where's the Cajun Craze? And then on the other side, here are the other colors, like that. So I thought we'd have some fun with this, and I'll show you some different ways to use it. Okay, put that aside. So if you've purchased the card kit from me, it will come like this. I'll have all the pieces pre-cut, and the card, but I'm going to go through them regardless, so that if you are watching and you want to reproduce this card on your own, you can do that. So my card base is just a standard card base. This is crushed curry, 8.5 by 5.5. It's scored at 4 1/4 and 1 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish that. And as you saw in the original card, it's kind of a Z fold. So let's go ahead and do that first. And because I really want this to lie flat, I'm going to actually burnish it really well. Both sides. Okay. There we go. See, it still wants to pop up. So if I do it like that, there we go. Now it's going to lay more flat. So we'll set that one aside. And then you're going to have several different pieces of designer series paper and that two-tone cardstock. If you've purchased the kit, I've already cut out the wreath for you. And if you don't have that Sophisticated Sled stamp set, and you can certainly decorate your card with whatever you've got. It's very versatile. So a piece of designer series paper is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And this is that autumn paper that I'm using right now. And its name escapes me. Let me see. Splendid Autumn Designer Series paper. So there are a lot of different pieces, scenes, and things that you can use with this paper. And I just cut it to highlight the path. So you can just cut it any way you want. But that size is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then I have a piece of basic white, which is the same, 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then I have these two layers, which are, the Cajun Craze is 4 by 2.5, and the white is 3.5 by 2 3/8. Now this can be any size or any shape on this card, as you can see. This, I chose to do a rectangle, but I make templates out of my fun folds. Whenever I have a fun fold, I go ahead and make a template. And on my template, I used a round shape, which certainly could work. You can use any shape here. And then I mark all of the measurements on here so that when I go ahead and make a card, design it, I have the information right at hand. So the last piece of cardstock, which I've already embossed for you with the leaf fall embossing folder, if you've purchased the card kit, this piece is 1 by 5.5. And you can see that when it goes through the embossing folder, it already kind of shows some of the white here, and you can use either side. This is the lighter side, and this is the darker side. But we are going to take it up a notch. So let me go ahead and show that to you now. As you can see, it's already, you can already see some of the white on it. And I'm just going to take an emery board, and you can use sandpaper, you can use an emery board, you can use, I would say you want it to be about 220 grade, 320. I don't know what an emery board is, to tell you the truth. This one's got a little bit of grit on both sides, the thinner and the thicker. I'm using the thicker side, and I'm just doing it on my finger so that I can kind of control where the highlights are coming. And as you can see, it's just kind of going over the highlights. So that's on the one side. And this side I think is even better because it really is going to highlight those. This is really, I think, the debossed side. It really highlights all the veins in that leaf. So my suggestion is go ahead and do both sides and kind of see which one you like better. For the last card, I did the dark side. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and do the lighter side. And I'm gonna just use, like, kind of highlight the veins, and then we'll compare them side by side at the end, and you can tell me what you think, if you have a preference for one or the other. You know, you can get like a fancy sandpaper block or whatever, but really this works just as well. As a matter of fact, I really like the way this is working. I feel like I have better control over it. So I'm gonna set that aside. And then since I'm going to use the light side for this side, what I want to do is I'm going to use the dark side because I'm going to tear. See, there's the light side. There's the dark side. I'm going to tear, I'll bring my card in again. See how I tore the bottom to highlight, again, to highlight that white cardstock. I'm just going to, I've got the dark side up, and I'm gonna take both of my thumbs, I'm holding it between it, I'm only gonna do about 1/4 of an inch, and you can see how I'm stabilizing with my left hand, because I'm right-handed. You have to swap it out if you're left-handed. And I'm bringing that across and pulling the right side toward me to just, I think you can see that, to create some of that. So that came off really nice and easily. If I wanted it to be more uneven, I could have done that, but I'm happy with that. So that's a little 2 different ways that you can use your 2-tone cardstock. I thought that was kind of fun. So now let's go ahead and do our stamping and die cutting. So this is going to be the trickiest part of this for you, is going to be lining up this wreath on the pre-cut side. It's easier if you go ahead and, okay, here we have the 2. It's easier if you go ahead and stamp it first and then die cut it. So if you can do that, that's absolutely the way I would recommend it. But if you can't, if you don't have it, so I don't know if you can see this right here, there are 2 leaves that kind of stick up. And there are the 2 right there. Can you see that? That's what I use, whether I'm lining up my die cut or lining up the stamp the way we're doing right now. So that's my little tip for you. So I'm gonna start with my wreath. I'm using the Old Olive ink, right? Yep, Old Olive. This is gonna be tricky because I'm not quite right over. Oh, almost forgot. I need my I need my cushion here, my Stampin' Pierce mat. Okay, so where was I? My 2 there. And now I lost them. There we go, the two there. Right, does that right? These two. It almost looks like a little bow on the top of the wreath. That's the way I think of it. All right, tap, tap, tap. I'm going in. Oh, for some reason, it's not really holding the ink. There we go. And then I'm kind of looking all the way around, trying to line it up as best I can. Let's see. I don't like that image. Let's see how it turned out. Oh no, it's okay. Yeah, and that lined up well. Okay. Phew. All right, and so now we're gonna go in and we're gonna do some coloring. So as I said, you can really use whatever colors you want to make it your own. I'm using pumpkin pie, Calypso coral, and the crushed curry. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the, let's see, let's start with the thin side of the crushed curry. And these are my, oh, and Cajun craze, sorry. These are the larger leaves. Actually, I think I'm gonna use the brush end. So you can use blends. These are the Stampin' Up markers. They work really well as well, and they've got two sides to them, the thin and the thick side. And I'm just doing a quick kind of filling in. It doesn't have to be perfect. Matter of fact, I think it's better if it's a little bit kind of a looser, you know, not every bit of white covered. There we go. Okay, so there are three kind of sets of each, for each set of leaves. So this is the Calypso coral. Now I think I want the, and for the Calypso coral, I'm doing the longer kind of set of leaves. And as you can see, I'm turning the wreath around to make it easy for myself to stroke upward, just because that's what I'm the most comfortable with. So you find what works for you, which direction you find you have the most control, and then turn your wreath or whatever it is you're coloring and adjust it. So you could use, if you don't have the stamp set, there's so many wonderful focal points stamps with focal points that you could use. So go ahead and use what you have. And then I'm gonna do the thinner leaves. These, I think I am gonna use the smaller side, because these leaves are definitely smaller. All right, there we go. So if you're in the Greensboro, Georgia area, I'd love for you to come to one of my classes. I do hold classes once or twice a month, and we have a lot of fun in these classes. If you're not close by and you want to purchase one of the card kits, I'm happy to send that to you. The best way to find out about my classes is to join my newsletter, and you can find that information at the in the introduction to this video. All right, and last I'm going to do the Cajun craze, and that's the berries. There we go. You can also purchase any of the items that I'm featuring in this video on my website, craftyherondesigns.com. And there we go. And I'm going to use a little Wink of Stella as well with these berries. And I just chose these colors based on the Designer Series paper. I used that. That's one of the wonderful things about the Stampin' Up products is the Designer Series paper. All the products coordinate. The inks, the papers, the cardstock, everything coordinates with each other. So, all right. So now, let's see. We're going to stamp our sentiment. So the sentiment that I did in the original card was Autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. And that stamp set is from the Autumn Leaves stamp set, which is lovely. But I'm going to go ahead and make this a birthday card this time. So what I'm going to do is happy birthday, and I'm using these new everyday greetings and greetings of the season. So as you can see, the fonts are really beautiful. I really, really love these fonts. And I love to mix and match the script with printing. So I'm gonna use the birthday from the everyday greetings and the happy from the greetings of the season. Now the greetings of the season also comes is a bundle with these dies. These are online exclusives. These dies also work with the everyday greetings. The thing I will warn you is if you get the birthday, it doesn't say, I mean, you could do best birthday wishes, but there's not a happy in this one. Same thing, anniversary. If you just want to say happy anniversary, then you really want to get the greetings of the season because they're meant to go together, which I think is fabulous. So that's the way I'm going to do it. And I am going to use the Cajun Craze ink with this. And once again, I will bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat because these are photopolymer stamps. And I know I want this to be kind of low. So I'm gonna go ahead and just loosely put that on there. It will eventually be popped up on dimensionals. But I want to do that so that I kind of know where I'm gonna place this. So I'm gonna put the birthday a little bit in the right lower corner. I could do it wonky. Should I do it? I'm gonna do it a little bit wonky, which I think is really fun. And then the happy. I tried to put these together on one stamp and I couldn't get them close enough for it to be comfortable. So this is a little wonky. I'm gonna try and make this one straight. And I'm kind of just lining it up, the P and the Y just above the birthday. Oh yeah, I'm happy with that. Fun. So it's great for a fall birthday. I think this is a fun way to celebrate someone who has a birthday in the fall. And I think we're set. I'm not going to do a sentiment on the inside. I'm going to wait until I know what I want to say. Certainly, it gives me more room to write. If you're somebody that doesn't like to write a lot on your cards, go ahead and stamp a sentiment and you'll be all set. So this first piece of designer series paper is going to go on the left side. Oh, look at that. It's too big. I cut that too big. Well, that's a bummer. I'm going to have to double check all that. Where's my ruler? Let me see where I messed up. Happens, no worries. So that's 1.5, which I think it was supposed to be 1.25. That's my problem. No worries. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down smaller. So then that means that this is 2 3/4. So I want it to be 2.5, and it's 2 3/4. All right, let's see. Oh, I already put glue on it, but that's okay. This is how we recover. So, fortunately, I don't have too much glue on that side. I'm gonna make this, what did I say? I wanted to make it 2.5. I'll be okay. I'm gonna have to clean off that's okay. I will have to go back, not too bad. There wasn't any adhesive here. Little bit here, but I can go back and use my adhesive remover eraser. Are you familiar with that? I'll show you in a minute. Let me put this on here while it's still wet. And I deliberately took it off of this side because I wanted the path to show. There we go. All right. Here we go. No worries. That works. But let me show you, because, you know, we all make mistakes and we need to know how to recover from them. So I've got this adhesive remover eraser. You can get them on Amazon. And it works really well. And I have to hold my blade here, or my arm, so that it doesn't snap on me. And that just takes that adhesive right off. And, you know, you can always use Glue Gone or one of the others, but I wouldn't recommend doing this often. Getting adhesive on your, see, now I'm gonna run into a problem here too. All right, so how are we gonna recover from that? I think it'll be okay. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move that over, and then this is gonna go here. I'll just put it in the middle. It'll be fine. No one's gonna know that that wasn't my original intention. Okay, here we go. Cards don't have to be perfect to be beautiful. But let's see what happens here. Do I need to put this? Because I don't want it to show. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this one down as well because I really don't want that white to show. So the other option would certainly have been to redo the card base, which would have probably been my best option to start with. But given that I already am in this far, this is what I'm gonna do. No worries. All right, then this is gonna go on here. And just have it equidistant all the way on the left, the top, and the bottom. Here we go. All right, and now this is gonna stack on here. And I'm gonna go ahead and put those together. And then we're gonna put some ribbon around this. So we have a piece of, this is Moody Mauve. It's actually been retired, but I thought it went really well with this card, with the colors on this designer series paper. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna put it around, and then the front is gonna be covered up. So I'm gonna use glue dots to go ahead and attach that. And if you feel like it's wiggling around too much on the back, you can go ahead and attach the back with some glue dots. But I found this lays really nicely, and I didn't feel like I had to do that. So I just kind of want it to be in the center. There. And there. Okay. And then this is going to go on dimensionals, and I want it to be centered. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the dimensionals on the card base. So I'm kind of eyeballing, like I know it needs to be about like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put my dimensionals on either side. And part of the reason I want to do dimensionals is because the ribbon's a little bit thick, and I want to accommodate the thickness of the ribbon. Okay, and then we are also going to put the wreath on dimensionals, and we'll put that on next. Here we go. So again, I'm kind of just eyeballing it. I want it to be centered, pretty much centered on my card, straight. And then we'll do the wreath, and we're going to add a little Wink of Stella, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to add it after I attach the wreath because it'll give it time to dry. If I attach the Wink of Stella, it takes a little bit of time to dry. I don't want to then mess it up by attaching the wreath afterwards. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. I think I put those two little, my indicator leaves on the bottom. And we will need some bling. And I have the in color dots. This is also retired, but I really like these colors. So you'll get them in your kit. These are the 2023-2025 in color dots. And I'm gonna use these copper clay because I thought they were really, really a beautiful color that goes along with this. So let's take a big one. Now you could use you could pull in the Calypso Coral, you could pull in the Cajun Craze, you could pull in any of the colors. There are 3 different sizes of this, so I'm gonna go ahead and use all 3 sizes. I think I just want that one there. Actually, yeah. There we go, with the happy birthday. And last but not least, my Wink of Stella. And I'm gonna go over just the berries with the Wink of Stella. So you could use your watercolor pencils if you wanted to. You have lots of options for coloring. And I think, you know, my stamped image didn't really turn out that well. So I'm gonna actually come in, I'm gonna get another ink, another piece of marker, and I'm gonna bring in the Pear Pizzazz, no, Old Olive, excuse me. Pear Pizzazz is with Terra color, and I'm gonna fill in, because it's kind of bugging me. So one of the things I really love about having the markers is if my image doesn't stamp fully, I've got this kind of backup plan to kind of go in and fill in the white parts. And, you know, that happens. Rather than restamping it, which I also certainly was an option, I could have done that. The challenge with that was because I already had the piece die cut, I kind of locked myself into needing to have that perfect image right from the beginning. And of course, it really wasn't, was it? But not a problem. Again, you know, you need to know how to recover from some of the mishaps that happen. Not a problem. So it is really handy to have these Stampin' Write markers on hand to go ahead and fill in those spots. Yeah, I like that. I don't know, what do you think? If you stayed with me till the end, I certainly appreciate it. If you like what you see, if you give me a thumbs up, it helps others follow me, especially if you leave a comment. I'll bring in the other card in a minute. You can tell me whether you think the birthday greeting, you like one over the other. There we go. That was quick and easy. And as you can see, I also used 2 different pieces of the Designer Series paper. I think this could also do as a masculine card. What do you think? There we go. Happy birthday. I think I recovered okay. I like it better, the not having as much of the crushed curry around the outside, but I don't think a recipient would ever know that that was a mess up. What do you think? Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it, and would love to help you unleash your inner creativity. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you're working with, please reach out and get in touch with me. There you go. Linda Edwards, Crafty Here in Designs. And I look forward to seeing you again on another video. Bye for now.